My husband just left me because he's been hit on by a woman for the first time in his life. God, I am so angry at I don't know everything right now. And this feels so fucked up. I don't even want to talk to my BFF about this right now. It hurts too much. ATM, my husband just told me he is leaving me and I can't believe the reason. I need to give some background. I am 34F and my husband is 38M. We've been married for almost 2 years, have dated 2 years before that, so overall a bit more than 4 years. He's always been very insecure about himself, even though he has a great personality, or so I thought, is generous, caring, can express his emotions and all this stuff. When I got to know him better, I couldn't believe he wasn't taken. In fact, he had only been in 2 relationships in his life, both 5+ years long, though. He told me that's because he's shy and ugly and women don't really want anything from him, like ever, especially not good-looking ones. I am fairly conventionally attractive and he has kept telling me for the past years how lucky he feels to finally have found his dream woman and then her being as attractive as me. I was wary at the beginning though, so I let him court me quite a bit before going out with him for the first time, etc. I really was fearing for some dark secret of his that I just hadn't uncovered yet. Plus I don't want to look easy, but turns out no, he's a really sweet guy and just very shy. I also don't think he's ugly. He's not in any way super handsome or so, and frankly, originally I thought he was not my type, but his charm melted all of that away quickly. Once we started thoroughly dating, things went fast because it all was so wonderful. Well, apparently a while ago he was on his own in the outside area of a restaurant having lunch when this woman went by and apparently struck up a conversation with him. He's shown me a picture of her since I asked him, and she is drop dead gorgeous. Maybe I am exaggerating because I am so mad, but she definitely looks better than me. I have to admit he didn't tell me much about what they talked, just that she was very friendly, and they exchanged numbers and started texting more and more often. He says she at some point openly started pursuing him even though she knew he was married, saying she just really fell for him and can't let this opportunity pass. He said that he was hesitant once he realized that she was hitting on him, and he was also excited because this literally has never happened in his life. In the past, he repeatedly said that women, at least attractive ones like me, have it easy because we can lean back and let the guys approach us, whereas for him it was always hard work to even get a single date. I always replied that it's not really like that and that being attractive has its own problems, but he then always reminded me of the fact that he had to work really hard to get me to date him too. He swears he has only met her one more time, for lunch, after the first encounter, and that he thinks it is not yet an affair. However, he thinks he wants to go forward with her because, as he put it, this is the first woman who is genuinely interested in me. I didn't have to text her for 3 months to get a date or anything. I can't let this pass, or something along those lines. My memory is a bit hazy. The 3 months refers to the time it took him to get a date with me, BTW, and that is why he says he is breaking up with me. He says it's the right thing to do because he wants to continue contact with her, but also feels doing that would be emotional cheating and he doesn't want to cheat on my, so he ends it before actually starting something with her. I feel devastated. I know there's nothing I can do. I want to be mad at him, but I am also mad at myself. I really liked him when we first met. Why did I give him a hard time? If I had said what I wanted back then, if I had pursued him instead of playing hard to get, he probably wouldn't be interested in that woman. But I always felt if a woman does that, she shows she's easy and I didn't just want to get laid, so I thought I must act that way. And now it is biting me in the butt. And I of course am very mad at him, but he didn't even cheat on me. He's behaving exactly the way I always say people should act when they fall in love with someone else. I kinda wished he had actually cheated on me with her. That would actually make it easier. Update. The situation felt very awkward, and I got the impression the whole time that he genuinely feels sorry for how things were and that what he is doing hurts me. I know many of you said he's a douche, a cheater and whatnot, and I really understand you and are mad at him myself, but on the other hand, you all do not know him like I do. He's a very honest person. He despises lying and is really bad at this. He carries his heart on his tongue, and I know him well enough to sense his feelings. Did that help me? Not much. Now, even if I wished, I couldn't paraphrase our talk, and I am sure I will miss certain things, and overall, it was a mixture of him telling and me asking questions, and all is a big flurry in my head, so I'll just summarize I guess. First, he told me that he really loved me, and he still does, but he feels that his feelings for the new woman are stronger. He told me her name. Let's call her Jasmine, not her real name. He admits Jasmine is gorgeous, but claims that that on its own was in no ways relevant for his decision. He told me that she originally approached him because of a book he was reading during lunch. Supposedly, the book's author is her uncle, and she was able to tell my husband some funny stories about the time her uncle drafted that book. He says he and Jasmine have very similar interests. Jasmine also reads sci-fi as he does because of said uncle who is a sci-fi author, and both like gaming and stuff. He says after they exchanged numbers, they initially only wrote about stuff like that, and later on they talked about other hobbies and interests and found more and more common ground, as he put it. He also admitted that like 2 weeks or so ago, he started to wonder if he should actively tell me about her, seeing how she turned from an acquaintance to what he deems a friend. I interjected that they don't know each other long enough to consider her a friend, but he says he feels Jasmine is really genuine with him. This is a man who cannot pick up social clues unless they are spelled out for him, but whatever. He also feels a lot more in tune with Jasmine than he does with me. Admittedly, we seem to have less common interests, but I never felt like I have to be exactly like my partner. Well, looks like he feels much happier with someone catering to his interests a lot more. He also became a bit self-critical then. He says after he left for his friend's place, he sat down and reread his conversation history with Jasmine, and he realized that she had indeed been flirting with him before she told him she wanted more. It didn't start out flirtatious, but he admits he totally missed that. He opened up the app on his phone and showed me the beginning, and then when she started flirting, he might have tuned the messages, but at least the beginning's really ready friendly. The flirtatious parts, however, were blatantly obvious in my eyes, but he actually blames himself for that and says that while that doesn't change his feelings for her, it means he should have noticed this earlier and, well, he said, make the decision to pursue her earlier. That sort of broke me and I started sobbing because it sounds as if I never had a chance compared to Jasmine. Then it was time to ask me why she is so attractive to him that he leaves me, his wife, for for just the mere possibility of being with another woman. She might be a scam, or just interested in breaking up marriages and going after men who are taken, and such. He vehemently denied that. Supposedly, they met last Sunday to go out for dinner, and they talked about the fact that she approached him even though he is married, and she claims to have a really bad conscience about this, and that she never would have done it had she not felt such a deep connection between them. I must admit I really struggled through that part, because if it is true, it hurts me, and if it isn't, it hurts even more that he falls for BS. He then told me in excruciating detail about his dating life, and how long he was a virgin, and how he was always treated by girls back in middle school and high school, and by the women in college, and later on, how he really feels that he always has to be the one initiating, fighting even for a chance, and felt like he was always treated as unworthy by almost all women, and how that made him bitter. He admitted that, but also how he always thought that someone who truly fits him, fits his personality, his character, his being, would be someone who would not make him jump through hoops, someone who'd outright tell him she is intrigued by him and wants him. He says he loves me dearly, and was always very grateful for being with me, but that even with me he always felt somewhere between a beggar and the subject of a pity party, where I bestowed the grace of my companionship onto him instead of actually liking and wanting him. When I asked him whether that means he settled for me, he vehemently denied that. He said when we started to date, I really treated him better than any woman had done before, so he really thought this was what he had been looking for, and before meeting Jasmine he never felt like he needed more. I of course tried to tell him that I am not with him out of pity or anything, and explained why I made him wait 3 months, and why I think the man should court the woman, and so forth. And then I also admitted that I might not have given him the appreciation he deserved. This time, it actually was his turn to drop tears for a bit. He said hearing that made him both grateful and unhappy that he never really communicated better about this. I told him that hearing him say that feels like he is putting the blame on me, and I swear to God, his eyes like doubled their size, and he looked genuinely shocked, and he apologized many times, and said he did not want me to think he actually has any bad feelings about having to wait back then, and that this is a situation where no one is to blame, but especially not me. He said I have been a wonderful wife and all, but that with Jasmine, it just feels different, and like a deeper connection that the two of us have, and that while he thought that I was wonderful, he now realizes that what he really was looking for in life was something else. So he says reconciliation is not really an option, because he realized that we're not right for each other, and even if it doesn't work out with Jasmine, he knows now that he actually needs something that I just not am. I mentioned marriage counseling, and he said that it's not like our marriage has issues, but that the issue is that we're just not right for each other. There were more things we said, and maybe I'll add some later, but right now I am too mentally exhausted, especially because I still don't feel like I can hate him because he felt so freaking honest. I think he at least truly believes all the things he said, but that woman still might be a total liar or a scam. He at least promised to be careful with her financial wise, but he assured me she's not that. I guess my marriage is over. My husband said she's been single for a couple years. I dunno. Makes me think it's my fault for playing hard to get back then, even though I liked him. But, I mean, we're always told it's better to not give your defense up too easily with guys. Frankly, I don't know. My self-respect says to never look at him again. But seriously, he's the love of my life and the best guy I ever dated. That's why I married him after just 2 years. Yes, he says it's because this is the first time he doesn't feel like a beggar with a woman. But I mean, that's how the dating game is, right? We can't make it too easy for men, or they think we are easy. He first mentioned the 3 months thing after I told him that as soon as he started talking to me back then I fell for him, but intentionally made him wait. Truth be told, I was head over heels for him 5 minutes after first starting to talk to him. So he always pulled my leg saying, you made me wait 3 months even though you knew after 5 minutes. I sort of get what he's complaining about there. But then again, I think that's what I have to do as a woman to ensure a guy has honest intentions. On the not liking him, that is only his physical appearance. He's a bit on the chubby side and, well, early hair loss and such. Only judging looks, I honestly would never have talked to him. We got introduced by a common friend, so we got talking, and that captivated me, but I honestly told him that physically he's technically not my type. Oh, I missed that edit. Yeah. Exchanging numbers, that makes me mad. But he said I have guy friends I met at parties or events, and he's never complained about that, and that is right. Then again, I never flirted with any of them. I would never do that while I'm in a serious relationship. I wish I could see it like that, but you don't know him. I mean, yeah. In college I would have called him a loser, but back then I was stupid. I guess maybe if I had flattered him back then he wouldn't have needed this validation, because he had gotten it from me. I mean, I knew he was the one after 5 minutes, but girls must never be easy to get. He was the one who got dumped by his exes in both cases. His first one cheated on him for a couple of months before breaking up with him, and the other one decided he was too boring and left him, as far as I know. We never went too much into details, but his sister told me in both cases he was devastated. Frankly, I don't know why she approached him. I mean, for me it doesn't matter, but he's not exactly Chris Hemsworth. I do make him feel wanted. Or did, maybe. I told him every day how much I love him, and all. And I don't care for his looks, and I told him so. When I look at him, I see him as the person I love. I married, I don't look at him. I don't often buy him presents or so. I mean, he sometimes does. I buy him flowers for his birthday though, and I know for a fact that my gift for him last Christmas is something he's wanted for literally decades, so I did put in effort. But yes, maybe I should just have been direct and open back then. If I had told him immediately how I felt, then I would have been that first woman to make him feel pursued. Maybe I need to be more like your GF. I mean, I was interested, but I never showed him, at least not initially. But then again, I married him. That should count for something. I guess. Yeah, I sorta see myself as the prize, but he was always okay with this. I mean, it's not like I don't tell him I love him or things like that. I guess I could show my affection more. Yeah, but I don't feel like that is necessary. I mean, he should know, right? I married him after all. The separate phone thing just is how it was when we met, and we are both happy without carriers. Not clear how that is unusual. Anyway, I don't know. Sure, I make friends like that, but except for this woman, obviously, I don't have a problem with him getting to know new people. I guess I never thought about it. We both are against controlling each other's lives. Again, it never crossed my mind some gorgeous woman would ever chat him up.